All right, once again, we're going to be talking with Tommie and Randy tonight. I don't know where to begin. I've been working for Randy at Tacoma Speedway for about 3 or 4 years. This is 4th year, and
4th year.
You've been there 4 years, so I've been doing the announcing there. And before that, I knew Randy from up at Smoky Mountain Raceway in Cherokee. And of course, I've known Tommie here off and on for a long time. We're going to give you a plug for Irvin's store, too, in Hollingsworth, and the Bluegrass Chicken Shack.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about that a little later on. I say Reba, while we're doing this, Reba's Buffet and Grill in Hollywood.
Thank goodness.
And we got coffee coming now. We're going to catch a shot of Reba here. She brings the coffee in. And just so happens the cups do have Rebas on the front of them. Isn't that a coincidence that the cups have Rebas on them? That's good.
Do it all.
Yeah. And we got 3 coffees. I don't use cream or sugar. I don't think they can do what they want to. But I frequent Reba's pretty often here, and they haven't run me off yet. So the food is good, the prices are reasonable, and they're good folks too. Reba and Amy.
Thanks, Reba.
Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate it. And but we got some interesting folks to talk with. Well, he's talking about the Chicken Shack. We'll get into that too right fast. Like you got some of the top bluegrass groups in the country coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a group coming the week after next from Kellett Sky from Rudenback, Texas. Real big group.
You had Marty Raven.
Marty Raven last week. Yes, sir.
Very good. You've had some top names in there. You got more coming up.
Yeah.
And are all your shows more or less kind of like by donation, or do you charge again?
Sometimes when we have to pay a whole lot, we have to charge.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
And when we don't do it to make money. We do it for the community to have a good time.
Very good. It's a family entertainment.
Yes, sir. Good, clean fun, no drinking, no smoking, nothing.
Okay, of course. You're there every Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have food of some sort.
All right. Well, we're going to switch over to Randy here for a minute. Now, you run the show at Tacoma Speedway, or it runs you, or one of the other.
Pretty much it runs me, yeah.
You've been in the promote business how long now?
This is my 16th year,
Wow.
believe it or not.
Before that, you drove.
Before that, I drove for 19 years. Yeah.
And you told me one time you won, what, close to 100 races?
91,
91.
actually.
And a lot of those in Tacoma.
Won probably about 60 of them.
60. Okay, so you got a lot of racing in your background. I know you got your daddy raced.
Yeah, my father, Roselle. A lot of people may remember him from the cattle business and the racetrack business. He run old Rainbow Speedway in Franklin.
That's what I heard. Where was that?
In the middle of nowhere.
Oh, okay.
That's one reason it didn't make it. It was
Oh,
about 8 miles out of Franklin up in the holler.
At the end of the road.
at the end of the road, right there. Just keep going any further.
At the end of the road, right.
Now, Tommie, you've been in all sorts of the racing business too. You drove, you promoted the Banks County
Yes, sir.
Speedway.
Yes.
You were one of the early members of NASCAR.
Yes, sir. I was one of the first original members. With Buck Baker and Lee Petty and a group of those people.
So you've been there from the very beginning in the racing. And how long did you drive?
Off and on for about 15 years, I guess.
Wow. So you were. How many races did you win?
I didn't keep count of it like he did, but I did win some big races. I won a big one at Lakewood Speedway, the Southeastern Fair in 1955. One year, I believe it was 54, I won 14 out of 18 races at McCoy. I won some at East Park Speedway in Canton and Dallas, Georgia, Gainesville, and different places.
I remember Canton Speedway. Let me ask you a question. I'll ask Randy the same question. All the races you won, what's the most money you ever won?
Won $400.
$400.
Lakewood Speedway.
Lakewood Speedway.
1 mile track, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Lakewood. Now that has a lot of history behind it.
Yeah, when you lost it, you went into the lake or you went up on Lakewood Avenue.
I remember you had 1 and 2. It was kind of wide, but
Yeah.
it turned
Yeah.
3 and 4 was just very, very narrow, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was egg shaped, wasn't it?
Yes.
I went there. It was still, of course, the track's been gone like 30 years or more, probably, or I don't know.
Boy, at least.
And they used to have the races that all year long. There, NASCAR used to run there.
NASCAR run there, yes, sir. What hurt NASCAR there, they made a route in the city of Atlanta on Lakewood Speedway. and nobody with a record could race there.
Oh, no.
And Bob Flock was the leading high point man with NASCAR, and he couldn't race where he lived in Atlanta, Georgia.
You had to, Randy, what's the most money you ever won?
$3,000.
$3,000. So you did a little better later on than Tommie did. Of course, you won. Now you.
400 may have been very much in, it's 3,000.
Well, that's what I was thinking. 400 is probably.
Yeah, our cars cost $700-800. We got our parts out of the junkyard.
Oh, okay.
They had to go to racing shop to get it.
Yeah. There's been a lot of history at Tacoma Speedway, though. We talk about that, and back when you were racing there, there's a lot of people race there that may be familiar with it. Ran Tacoma. Not only you, but I know that did the Flock brother race there?
No, I don't think they ever raced there. So, some of the NASCAR drivers did race there.
I've heard a lot of talk about the history. It opened in what, 50?
Depending on who you ask, 50, 51.
I'm either 50 or 51. The first race I run there was in 53.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. We'll get back with more interesting stuff. We better take a little break. All right, we're back again. We're talking to Randy and Tommie here. Randy, I know you've been involved in the promoting end, but Tommie over here promoted at Banks County Speedway.
We had the course Speedway for a
Oh,
while, yeah.
I didn't know that. That's not new. I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
yeah, about 2 years over there.
Oh, okay. Well, I hear a lot of people talking about the little Banks County Speedway. Where was it?
Well, it's down below Hollingsworth, about 5 miles. I own it now, but it's rolled up in a pasture. A lot of people come and look at it, but it's rolled up so bad, I'm sort of ashamed to let them go there sometime.
I was going to ask you if any of it was still visible.
It's there, and the lights are still there, just like
Oh,
it was
really?
when we turned them off, yeah.
Really? When did it close?
1970.
70.
Yeah.
So and that's been 36 years ago. And
Wow.
that has been.
They went up on their insurance so high, we just couldn't afford to pay the insurance.
That's one of the problems today, isn't it, Randy? The expense of the end. People don't realize that when you go to the race, you have to have insurance, you have to have an ambulance there, and fire protection, and all the employees. I'm going to ask you a question. Maybe this is kind of a personal question. How many people do you work at Tacoma, roughly? Concessions and all.
Say around 30.
30. I knew it was a lot of folks. And of course, you've had a lot of people stick with you for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, a lot of them been with me, several of them been with me 16 years.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, it proves you're doing something right. Of course, you come down here and, you know, of course, I give Thomas Looney a rough time, but he does a lot of that stuff, I tell you.
Yeah, Thomas. Yeah, he'd be hard to replace. He does
Yeah.
a lot of other stuff for me too.
Yeah.
You know, fix every pipe broke, fix it.
Of course, Curtis and you've been together flagging. Been together for a long time.
Yeah, me and Curtis Flagman, we've been together for about 11, 12 years.
And you've been a while. And you, of course, at Smoky Mountain, you were there 12 years, you told me. Were you there when were you the one that rebuilt the track up there and went from a quarter to 3/8? Was that?
No, Bob Smith actually done that, made it a little bigger. And in fact, he run it part of 1 year there, and I helped him. You know.
Oh, okay.
But,
If you had to give somebody any advice on running the track, what would you tell them?
keep driving.
Tommie,
I'd love to be back in one now.
that was one of my next questions. Do you ever see yourself getting back into a race car?
I think I still could.
Tommie,
I don't believe I forgot how.
no, I don't think so. You got two boys racing too,
Right.
Joy and David. Joy's the oldest, and they're both racing in super late models now.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I know David and Joy can drive anything to get
Jump
into.
back and forth. They'll get in about anything anybody let them get in.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Kind of like the old man, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But David's done good. Joy's had his share of bad luck over the last 3 years.
Well, yeah, they're both about to catch me in wins. I think David's up at 80, and Joey's right behind him with 74. I think it is.
So he's coming on. Seems like everything. I don't mean to sound. This is gonna sound negative. Everything good's happened to David the last couple of years as far as luck.
It's kind of turned around.
Yeah, it has. I know you told me one time Joey had his share of good luck at Smoky Mountain, and they both were winning. But
Yeah.
no, yeah. They help you run the track too, don't they?
No,
I thought they did preparing the track and stuff somewhere, did some work.
Very little.
Oh, okay. Forget I said that, folks, that was bad, but, you know, they've got their share of fans, I'll tell them that. I mean,
They're both good
go-
boys and they try hard, you know, that's all you can ask. I
They've
appreciate
always
it.
treated, you know, I appreciate the way they've treated me and appreciate the way you've treated me over the last 4 years, or going on 4 years now. But, I know Tommie over here, up in Banks County, what years did you run Tacoma? Do you remember? Am I asking you a rough question here?
What really happened, there wasn't enough fans to go around. So we shared one Friday night, one Saturday night at our track, one Saturday night at Tacoma. My
Okay.
brother went to Tacoma as an announcer, and I went over there as a flagman. And as Garland got older, I had to control the drivers and everything in the track.
Oh, okay, so you kind of, did you have a lot of the same drivers driving those tracks?
Oh, yeah, same drivers,
That's
yeah.
what I thought. It's just-
Now, some of the South Carolina drivers would go to South Carolina when it's going, all the games with Atlanta crowd would come to our track. And we had some that would come both places.
Right. And you know, we got a character down in Baldwin. I use that word loosely. I don't mean anything of that character. A character, Buck Simmons, who I'm talking about. I'm sure both of y'all know Buck. And Buck's got over 1,000 wins now. And did you ever race against him when you were racing? Or
Can't never remember being on the track at the same time, but
how about you, Tom? Did you ever?
I can tell you a lot about Buck. Buck started out driving a water truck.
Oh,
When he was
okay.
14 years old at
Wow.
our track. Sitting on a Coca-Cola crate to get him up high enough. And when he got 14 years old, his daddy come, there was some kind of a rule, there wasn't a law, but everybody said you couldn't drive if you got 21. Well, they come down and we give Buck permission to drive, and he started driving at 14. He drove the first race at our track, then he went to the store and drove several races. And then he drove everywhere.
He used to run a coming track.
Oh,
too,
when
I
he's
think.
16, he's coming, he's all over, he went with NASCAR, raced some NASCAR.
I remember that. Of course, Buck's, you know, he.
He's still trying to drive, by the
Yeah,
way. He was gonna drive Saturday night somewhere in
I think he's
South
running-
Georgia, and he got sick and didn't drive.
I think he's running the fast track series.
Great motorcycle.
Crate motor cars, yeah, the crate motor cars. And of course, I remember when Buck was trying to get that 1,000th win. I was working at 106 at the time. That was before you came down.
right.
And I was working at 106 as the announcer at the time. And he had one of the worst years I reckon the fellow could have. Him and Gerald Boyles got together, you know, and everything went wrong. And then Buck finally got that win 1,000 on at Livonia, I think. And everybody, you know, Buck told me, he said, you know, that's like the weight of the world off my shoulders.
I bet.
Can you imagine the pressure? Everybody was watching, waiting on him.
Everybody pulling for me.
That's true. Everybody's wanting to get it.
Wanting to get it.
Buck's a likable guy. I mean, you know, he's been around so long. Speaking of likable guys, I'm going to take a break now and leave these two likable guys. We'll be back again with Randy and Tommie here. And I just want to say it's an honor to sit between you two guys. You know, I've heard a lot of talk about you, but I didn't believe some of it.
Well, that
I
was
mean,
good.
I know it wasn't true. I'm just
I
kidding.
hope you didn't believe all you heard.
Yeah, I didn't. But, you know, it's interesting talking about the history of this area. There's a lot of history now. Okay, now at one time, of course, we got Banks County, Tacoma. Where's some of the other tracks that operated around here at one time or another?
All the Gainesville, East Park, and from South Carolina, Canton, Georgia, and over Dallas, Georgia. There's several racetracks.
Yeah, I knew there was.
Macon, I raced Macon.
Oh, really? You ran
Greenville, Pickens, all those places.
Granville Pig. Now, Anderson was dirt when? It was dirt in the 70s.
Yeah,
80s.
he asphalted somewhere like
Somewhere
that.
around 82, maybe.
Yeah. I know we got a lot of asphalt fans, but, you know, I've seen a lot of good tracks ruined. I paved
Well, we
it.
ruined ours. That's where we learned how
Oh,
to
really?
pave it.
I didn't realize.
We
that.
got a different group of cars out of Atlanta that raced the Beach Bowl, but all of our local cars quit us
Oh,
because they couldn't compete with those boys racing, just like the Allison.
Yeah.
Bobby and Donnie and them, they come up there and race with
Oh,
us.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Now-
But they was professional asphalt drivers, that's
yeah,
all they ever done.
that's true. Now you think about, you mentioned the Peach Bowl, now that's another story in itself.
It is.
I remember going there when I was a little boy.
See, I tried to race the Peach Bowl.
It was right
I'd
there.
race Friday night, and I'd race Saturday night, and I might race Sunday evening. Then I'd go to Pete Post Sunday night with the same old car I'd run on dirt all week. And I'd get lapped.
Now, Athens, there is a lot of difference I found between asphalt and dirt cars. I used to wonder years ago. Now, there used to be the old Athens Speedway.
Yeah,
Did you ever run over there?
yeah. I run when it was dirt.
I never won that.
One time. I was gonna ask you if you'd ever run there.
Second, CL Bridget.
Oh, C.L. Pritchett, and that's another name well known in this area.
Yeah, boy, CL won a lot of races.
Yeah.
I don't know how many, but a lot.
Yeah. We've got our own group of stars now in dirt track racing, well-known drivers. There's two guys named McCoy, I don't know, but yeah, they're pretty well. Of course, you got, if I start naming names, I'll forget one. Of course, Randy Hemphill's got his following, and
Hemphill, Bruce
Jason
Taylor,
Bruce Taylor.
Benji Cole. We start mentioning names.
I'm gonna
we'll get in
forget
trouble.
somebody and I'll get in trouble. I'm gonna
We're
quit
gonna
right
forget
now.
a bunch of them.
That's right.
We have near 100 there at Toccoa, you know.
That's
Can't
true.
mention that many.
Your opening night now at Toccoa, which was back on the 18th of March. It was cold, but it wasn't as cold as it could have been, I guess. But I heard you talk tonight. I've never seen an opening night crowd like that before. It was full.
Surprised, yeah. We generally always have a big crowd on opening night, but the place just wouldn't hold them. I think everybody thought they'd come to the race on the same night.
I think that's it. Everybody wanted to go. Now I was told, you may know better than I do, I was up running my mouth in the announcing booth, but that basically people was parking down on the road, trying to get in.
They run them out of the
Yeah.
movie theater parking
I
lot.
heard about that. But
The ushers told them they'd have to go. That was the movie going.
maybe, oh well.
Can't blame them.
No, that's true. That's where they're making a living too. What's some of the big events coming up to Toccoa this year?
Well, we got 2 Southern All-Star events. And of course, we got our monster truck.
That's right. It's coming
That'll be May 20th.
May 20th. Monster Truck's always a big hit with the big kids and little kids too.
Right.
And he puts on the show though.
Yeah, he
when
does.
comes. I can't
Kids
see.
love it.
Oh, they do. I know you got Southern All Stars and twice you got.
Women's World Championship.
That's interesting.
Second annual.
We're a women's world championship. I'll let you know when. You just show up. But
What about Fantastic?
yeah, you can you release a whole lot about that yet? Or we
Not really. There'll be some qualifying for 2 or 3 weeks. We'll have like 3 people, and they'll have a chance. I can't say what doing. Chance to win a lot of money.
That's right. I remember that.
Doing some sort of activity.
Yeah, something a lot of folks do. I won't go any further. But that's going to be interesting.
That's not for the driver. That's for the people in the
The
stands.
people in the stands. They can win literally $1,000 if they're lucky. I mean, we're talking big money here. Of course, you got the twice Southern All Stars. That's one of the premier series right now.
Yeah, sure is.
And you've got. I was going to ask you, what about fast tracks? You got them?
We've not got one scheduled with fast tracks, but we run under their rules.
Right.
I'm sure
That's
we'll
something,
get
yeah. The crate lake models running under fast track rules this year, and they've got a point fund this year, like $250,000 cash money. You tell me.
Nice point.
That is. Do they
Not
like
bad.
you?
Something he's gonna give us.
Something like that.
Pretty nice.
Now that's not incentive to get you back in the car on the one. Of course,
Think
guys.
about buying me one, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. The Corvette or the race car.
Well, both.
I believe that's the suit, that's what Buck's running that fast track.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Their truck, I'll ask both of you, but the Crate Lake models, I guess it's a good way for somebody to get into lake model racing economically. Do you ever think, maybe this is a loaded question, do you ever think the Crate Lake models are going to take the place of the Super Lake models?
That very well may happen one day. They're not, in my opinion, ready to do that yet.
Well, you still got, I've seen it, I can speak, I'm not going to speak for y'all because I've seen it other tracks where they don't run the Super Lake models. And people come to see the Super Lake models.
Yeah, they like to see that speed. Of course, if you had that gone,
Yeah,
you might not know the difference.
that's true.
The other week, we had a good show out of the fast track.
Yeah, that's true.
They done put on a good show.
Now, what does it cost to build, to have a competitive Super Lake model now? What would you say?
Gosh, I don't know, 60,000 probably.
At least most of these folks got got $35,000 motor.
That's what I know. The motors is the thing in the thing.
Probably close to that much on everything
The
else.
steering sector, probably $2,000, just spend money everywhere you go.
Yeah, I can imagine. Brakes, I guess they have to have,
They have to change them, the shocks and springs about every other week.
yeah. And another thing you see in a lot, of course, you got it in other classes too, is they're putting a lot of money in haulers and stuff now too, and equipment.
Yeah, boy.
And that's something that used to, you didn't see, they pulled a car on a little low-board trailer there to the track to get out and race. Now they don't do that anymore.
Pull them with a tow bar.
Say, oh, tow bar.
Pull them with a tow bar. I pull them with a tow bar all over
Yeah.
the country, Greenville, South Carolina,
Did
Greenville,
you ever
Spartanburg.
drive your car home?
I have drove a car to Greenville Speedway and taped up the lights and raced, and then drove it back home.
I just thought of something I wanted to ask you about. I think we're running close on time, but I wanted to ask you about, you ran on the beach at Daytona.
Yes, sir.
And that was that one of the highlights?
1948. Back then, you did run on the beach, and you done, the back stretch was a highway by people's houses. You went right down in front of people's houses, and then cut down and got on the beach.
You ran there in
1948.
1948. You were one of the first members in NASCAR.
Yes, yes.
I find that very interesting. Tell you what, I hate to go. We're out of time, fellas.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, I know. We've had a good time. We'll have to do this again. Would y'all like to come
Yes,
back? Tell you what, I
right.
won't charge you as much next time you come on the show. All right. So, you know.
We'll do it for half.
All right. That sounds okay. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up tonight. I want to thank Tommie Irvin here and Randy McCoy. They've been good guests, and I haven't had to do a whole lot of talking. I just ask a question, sit back and listen to them. But we'll be back next week. We've got some good programs in the works coming up over the next few weeks. I'll tell you this quickly. I haven't got it completely finalized, but in the coming weeks we're going to have Doug, Melvin, and Wesley English on the show. Now, that ought to be a good one. That should be interesting right there. And if I ever catch him, Buck Simmons is going to be on the show. And catching Buck is one thing, you know. Not just on the track, but catching him where you get him up.
I'll go get him.
You'll go bring, okay. That's good. You and Tommy can go get him, bring him up here. I want to get Buck started talking. I know we're out of time. We'll see you next Saturday, 12:30. Good night.